Hey, Michael.
Hi, Jody.
Hey. I'm listening. Because of recent wildfire burn scars. Mike, thanks so much. Got some new tonight. Used. The Justice Department has launched
Oh, hello, everyone. Okay, still waiting for Brittany to get in here. She's gonna cause a ruckus when she gets in here. There's no way she'll come in here calm and quiet. Ain't gonna happen. Ain't gonna happen. Gonna make a big old ruckus. Uh, Happy New Year to everybody. If I haven't seen you yet, Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Thank you. This is my January calendar picture. Look at that. January, the whole team. Power team.
Yeah.
Love it.
Nice.
Love it. That was just a little portion of our team. Love it. Okay, so I got a lot of different stuff to review today with you all. We're gonna go over the first part of the meeting. We've got to go over all of the information on the track team, the diet plan, the workouts. I'm going to share my screen so I can review some of that, so everyone is reading everything the correct way, and not stressing out over workouts or anything like that. I am recording this meeting so that way we can post it on the app for anyone that can't make it or who wants to rewatch it. I've got Rhonda traveling to Hawaii right now, so she won't be able to watch it till it's like 4 a.m. her time. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go into share the screen so I can pull up the January workouts for track to review those. So let me hit share screen on this and get over to, okay, I gotta find my file here. There we go. All right, well, the meal plan is up, so I might as well start there. Okay, so 32, no, that's old. Wrong meal plan. We are on 33. Well, since that's gone, I got this up. All right, so the January track and field team workout. So that's the first thing that I'm going to review with everyone. So first up, weekly practice schedule set up for 5 days a week training. You can do them any day of the week that matches your schedule. So I get asked a lot, what if I can't do those days that you have on here? I'm just putting them on there as a reference. So you can do them any day of the week. I do want you to realize that, you know, some of the stuff you could do just at home, some of the stuff you need to actually be at the gym to actually do. But so as an example, let's say that I'm looking at the full body power phase lifting, bar squats. That's for people that actually already do bar squats. If your back, if your hips, if your knees don't permit bar squats, it can just be regular dumbbell squats, sit your butt down to a box or whatever. But people that actually do bar squats, that's kind of what that means. And so 70% of a 1 rep max. So that is if you already would know what your 1 rep maxes are. And unless you are power lifting and you squat with powerlifting, don't worry about hitting numbers like that. So if you squat as part of a power lifter or in your sessions with me, Brittany, or Todd, then you could always ask us, oh, what's my 1 rep max on a squat? For those of you that are not doing bar squats, just hold a set of dumbbells. So that's all you have to do. So he's like bar squats, warm up set of 10 reps. And then for set 1, he wants 5 reps. For set 2, 4 reps. For set 3, 2 reps. So let's say that for 5 reps, you're holding some 20-pound dumbbells. Oh my God, she did the opposite of what I said she was going to do. The polar opposite of what I said she was going to do. Yeah, make a big ruckus. You were quiet. You were quiet.
That's gonna be a ruckus.
Yeah. Anyway, so set 1, 5 reps. Let's say that you held 20-pound dumbbells if you were just doing sit and stands or just dumbbell squats. And then when you go to set 2, hold 25, set 3, hold 30s. On the set 3, 5, 3 reps, 75% of 1 rep with a 4-second hold at the very bottom. Just hold for 4 seconds at the bottom on your last rep. It's just, it doesn't need to be that complex like that. So if you do bar squats, and you say, okay, I do bar squats when I work out with Brittany or with Melinda or with Todd, what should my weights be? Then we'll just tell you, okay, do your first set at 65, your second set at 95, your third set at 115. But this is not the time when you're going to just start to bring bar squats into your life. If you already don't do them, you're just using dumbbell squats. So that's the end on that. Hop or jump squat, body weight at 5 reps. So either jump squats, a modification for jump squats. Again, if you don't normally jump squat, you can always squat down and do a calf raise at the when you're on the top part. Instead of jumping and leaving the ground, squat down and calf raise up, squat down and calf raise up, 5 reps there. Sprint in place, driving your knees up for 3 seconds. So this type of a workout, he wants you to go back to back to back with each item. So you go from one to the next, to the next, to the next. So set your little area up so you know you're going to do all those. A lot of clients, a lot of the athletes are telling me they're just printing this off so they actually have the paper copy instead of worrying about their phone shut off or whatever. So sprint in place for 3 seconds. Incline dumbbell bench press, 3 sets of 8. Use a weight that you can barely finish for the last 2 reps. So on your first round of anything, you're not going to be that tired. So it's not going to happen your first time through. So don't worry about that happening on your first time through. But again, set up your incline bench there. Dumbbell step up, holding a weight plate for 3 rounds, 7 reps. So you're just stepping up, step up on a step or on a bench, whatever you're already comfortable with doing, just kind of holding a plate above the head. What you're doing on this is when your arms are not involved, you have to trust your lower body more. So if it's just a small step, if it's a step at home, or if it's a bench, if you're actually fit enough to do it up and down on a bench. Don't choose a bench if you've never done that before. I see someone has got a message in chat. I'm going to go through this before I open that up. Then we'll come back over for questions. Face band pulls. So this is where you step on a band, and a face pull. So upright rows usually ends right here at your chest, but a face pull has to come all the way up. Okay, so bring it all the way up. Gets a lot more shoulder and your rear delts. Dumbbell hammer curls. A hammer curl is just right here for bicep curls. So if you don't have dumbbells and you have to use a band, then use a band. Do it with a band. So same thing, if it asks for band and all you have is dumbbells, just use your dumbbells. Don't worry about that. So dumbbell hammer curls, just like that, is how you end a hammer curl. Lat pull downs with a pull-up grip. So 3 sets of 8. The goal is to pull your body weight for reps. That is the goal. That'd be a wonderful goal. For those of us who have very heavy bones, very heavy muscles, it'll never happen without a band. So that's a wonderful goal to have when you got a low weight or low bone and muscle structure. But you can still do chin-ups with a heavy band that's a chin-up band, or you can do the modified chin-ups, which we'll get to that when we have to do that. But lat pull down. So a typical lat pull down, if you don't have problem shoulders, you would do behind your ears, and you would bring it all the way down till the bar hits you at your trap level. If you have any kind of problems with your shoulders, you do not go behind your ears, you keep it in the front. So you do your lat pull down to the front. If you don't have access to a lat pull down machine, you can use a band, pull tight, and just keep it tight the whole time. So you just hold it real tight both ways, or hold a towel. So kind of a hand towel. So hold a towel, pull it real tight, and then just do your lat pull down with a towel. So that's your way of actually working those muscles. Barbell good mornings are very difficult to do. You've got to be very strong already to do a barbell good morning. So some people just can do a dumbbell good morning. So you would just hold one dumbbell up against your chest area right here, upper chest, and hold it on there. Lock your legs straight, real lock, no bend in your knee, toes are facing straight, and then bend 90 degrees and come back up.
Okay, but don't overlock your knee. So straight legs, but don't completely lock your knee out.
Don't hyperextend.
Yeah, don't hyperextend.
Don't hyperextend.
You want to feel the tension on your hamstring.
Yeah.
So if your knee's too locked, you'll feel the tension in the back of your knee. That's not what we're going for. Yeah. So I say keep the knees soft, because when I straighten my legs naturally hyperextend.
Oh, mine don't.
Well, mine do.
Yeah.
So I always tell people keep the knees soft, because you want to feel that tension in the hamstring and all the way up into that glute, and even where the glute attaches and the hamstring attaches at that low back. So we're looking to activate that whole posterior chain and do not injure your knees.
Yeah. So barbell good mornings, if you can hold the barbell back there and you're bending forward, sometimes it's no weight on the bar, sometimes it's a low bar or whatever. But Again, if barbell good mornings do not work for you, just keep it a dumbbell good morning. Calf raises, 3 sets of 15. Calf raises, if you have access to a machine at the gym, you can do them on the gym. You could hold some dumbbells down to the side. You can hold some dumbbells on your shoulders. Just do 3 sets of 15 on calves. Laying on your back, one leg is up in the air, hip thrust. So one foot's on the floor, one leg is straight up, and just do hip thrust. Lift your butt up and down off the floor. Hip thrusts are critical. So got to use a lot of hips on pretty much every single track move. So we're going to just keep progressing on your hips, getting stronger. For throwers only, you have to do dumbbell shoulder press. So some of the moves he has on here, it's just for one group of people only. So dumbbell shoulder presses, 3 sets of 8. So that's pretty much, this is full body, Tuesday, Thursday, power phase of full body. Now we're going into conditioning. I just put Monday, Wednesday, Saturday. Again, it's up to you. 3 times a week, conditioning for sprinters, hurdlers, and jumping athletes. So if you're doing multiple different events, then multiple different things on this packet. Bye.
You're actually not sharing.
Oh,
What?
you can't see my screen?
Only Zoom. It just says Zoom. A leader
Oh,
in
no.
2022.
I can't see either.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so let me see what I did. I need to, let me stop and let me go back to my screen share. All right, let's see. Thank you for mentioning. All right, how about now? Can you guys see my screen, my PDF?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Let me see what the chat was about. I'm not seeing the list. Okay, that was Gail. Thank you, Gail.
Well, go back and show them now that you just said it. I'll show them real quick the summary
Okay.
of what you just
Okay,
went
this is
over.
what I just went over. So it was just the front page where I said the weekly workouts are 5 days a week. You can do them any day. Then this was the 2-day a week of lifting. So that's what I was reviewing on the lifting. Key focus, lift heavy and fast, but controlled. And then I went over the squats, jump squats, sprint in place, incline dumbbell press. If anybody doesn't know any of these exercises, make sure that you type that in the chat so I can see what you don't understand. I'll come back to it. Then now we're just now beginning the practice, the actual track practice. So 3 times a week conditioning, sprinters, hurdlers, and jumping. So 1 mile run, 8 to 15 minute pace. Keep speeding up the pace. It just means speed your pace up every time you actually are doing your little warm-up run. So that's all it means. It doesn't mean try to get to, the fastest you can do. You just work your way slowly up every single time that you actually run or every week that you work out. Don't over try anything. Stay steady, and just the steadiness is what actually gets it all done. 4 treadmill 55-second sprints plus 3 20-second sprints at 50% max speed. Again, how are you going to know 50%? Just you just pay attention to you. What you're trying to get in touch with yourself is, okay, that feels like 50% of what's fast to me, or I'm huffing and puffing. That was like 80%. That's the only way you're going to know. You just got to kind of feel, okay, that's just 20%. So you just have to give yourself that estimation to yourself. You get better and better. You start to know, oh, I know when I'm at 50, I know when I'm at 65, I know when I'm at 80%, I know when I want 100% all out. So that's all you're trying to do, trying to get in touch with yourself on that. So that's how that little warm-up part is. So that's all that happens right there. Just 3 times a week, that's what's happening. Those 2 things right there. Now, 3 times a week for throwing athletes. So if you are a hurdler, a jumper, and a sprinter, and a thrower, now you're coming down to this. Throwers have 30-minute power walk, 20-minute sprint, a 20-meter sprint for 8 sets, 2-minute rest in between your sets. So 20-meter sprint. Javelin runway is 30 meters. So the reason that we want the throwers to just do a little short, so make sure you measure out 20 meters, a short little 20-meter sprint is because the javelin runway, which will never be super, super top speed, it is 30 meters long. So you have the ability to do a little bit of a, not necessarily a sprint, not
It's
strut.
kind of,
What's the word I
it's
want
like
to
an
say?
acceleration run.
Yeah, an
Like, it's
acceleration.
acceleration, and
Yeah.
then what Todd and I were just filming over the weekend is kind of like the crossover approach, like the sidestep crossover that you then transition into. So there's like a accelerated approach
Yeah.
moving forward, and then you transition to like a sidestep crossover move before you actually throw.
Okay.
So that's
Um,
just what you have to get used to and kind of that distance.
Okay, so Jane said, how much rep between sprints? Okay, so on, 2-minute rest between your sets on the sprints. So your 20-meter sprints, to do a 20-meter rest 20-meter rest 2 for all 8 of them. And that's that matches javelin. There's no need to just keep upping it on that for throwers. There's no need for that. So javelin runways 30 meters, shot put and hammer use similar fast twitch sprinting muscles. So there's not really any movement on that. It's just fast twitch. So when we're conditioning you to do 20-meter sprints, it just is conditioning your fast twitch over and over and over for throwing. Now we're down to all athletes. Before conditioning workouts, spend 30 to 40 minutes doing prehab, rolling, stretching to help avoid injury and soreness reduction. So I say this every single time that I'm doing the warm-ups when we're at track practice. So spend 30 to 40 minutes, get there. It also helps me get in the frame of mind before I actually build my intensity up for my workout. When I spend my 30 to 40 minutes rolling and just stretching out really good and feeling my muscles, feeling where I'm tight, feeling where I'm sore, I know ahead of time, my shoulders are tight today. Must have been how I slept. My neck is tight. Damn, I got to go get adjusted or I need a massage. So when you take that time to spend the 30 to 40 minutes before you even work out and do anything, you're well aware you're in touch with every muscle, what it's feeling like. And so when I'm in touch with it, I know, okay, if my neck is tight, I'm not going to be overthrowing today. My lower body felt loose, so I'm going to do more intensity on my sprints. So it's a really good moment in time to actually know what's tight. Does everything feel loose? Does everything feel really good? You feel great everywhere? Well, then wonderful, go all out. But some days you're going to be tighter than others. So you got to use that as your guidepost of, okay, my neck feels good, shoulders feel good, everything feels good. Well, then my upper body, I'm going to really put in some good throws today. Other days you could be super tight, or the way you slept, or you just got a massage, or you need a massage and shit's all tight and cramped up. That's the life of a master's athlete. Don't go and throw against a tight neck. So just do some light things or nothing. You know what I mean? Just do some kind of stretches and just move with your arms. So that's why you want to do that.
Also during that time. So when you get into some of the additional, so these are basically like the gym workouts, the weight training workouts, the gym workouts, the muscle strength conditioning workouts. What Todd and I filmed over this weekend are basically like the track training drill workout. So when we have our live practice at the field this Sunday, we are obviously going to be doing field drills, teaching you more detailed things live and in person. And then the 2 additional workouts that I filmed with Todd for this month, it is, think of those as like your drill workout. So that's kind of the way I want to articulate the difference between the workouts. So it just doesn't seem like a whole pile of everything and there's so much to do every single day of the week. But since we're at this point and Melinda's talking about prehab and prepping for these workouts, when you get to the part on the workouts for this month, where I go into teaching about 15 minutes of hip mobility and prehab, that is something that I do about every other day. So when I'm on this workout schedule and I'm going to the gym and I'm doing these various different workouts and training drills pretty much every other day or every day of the week, about 4 times a week I'm at the gym, sometimes 5. I am doing those prehab hip mobility exercises 4 to 5 days a week. So when this says prehab, rolling, stretching, preparing your body, when you watch those segments, before we get to the actual athletic training drills of here are the dynamics to throwing the javelin, here are the dynamics to turnover with your feet, I do a whole section on hip mobility, prehab, and that's something that I'm very adamant about because it's taken me 2 years at this point to get the flow of my hip mobility and my prehab and how many days a week I need to do it for me to actually get through a whole season and all of these workouts without my hips killing.
Yeah.
So that's how serious I am about this and passionate about it. So just know this 30 to 40 minute, again, like Melinda was saying, assess your body's needs. It's all based on nothing's good or bad. It's not, should I do this? Should I do that? It's always, what are you trying to accomplish? So for me, I have asymmetry in my hips. I need to work on hip mobility and prehab. And I'm also majority a sprinter. So that is the area of my body that's going to get beat up and pounded and have the most wear and tear on it. So for me, I'm going to do 20 to 30 minutes every single time as my prehab, as my warm up. Melinda's on the foam roller. She's doing a lot more shoulder stuff. I'm not the one that throws anything. My shoulder dislocates. We're going to leave my arms out of it. So again, we are teaching you, we're giving you all the materials and we're being examples, but you still have to be sensitive and just be aware of what are you individually trying to accomplish as an athlete? What do you need to warm up? What are you working on getting better at competing that? So we just wanted to kind of explain that in person. It's not like you're just sitting your ass on a foam roller for 30 minutes and just like rolling back and forth, and that takes up your time. We're not punching the clock on this. We're actually assessing what your body needs to perform and perform as a master's athlete and perform over a period of 3 months, 6 months, a year, and just really never have to stop.
Yeah. And, it's just much more professional to behave this way. So in high school, you could just like show up, they make you run a few laps around the track or around the field, and then they just start kicking your ass. Well, as a master's athlete, we're doing everything smart as possible with the most intelligence possible, with the least amount of chance for injury or tears or strains or sprains. And it's more fun. And if you just make it all just pound, that's not fun. And I want more mind involved. So a lot more mental involvement from all of you. And when you are rolling, when you are stretching, when you are just feeling how your body feels, how your attitude feels. Maybe you got a shitty attitude that day, whatever. Roll longer, calm your attitude down, relax yourself, and then.
And for a lot of people, so there is a reality to, you don't recover as fast because you're not raging full of sex and growth hormone. So that's a certain reality. But the reality is that stops at age 25. So your body, your bones, your muscles, everything's literally still growing until age 25. And then after that, you don't recover as fast. So that's just almost like a horrible jump off point and thing to say. Like, you're comparing yourself to your 16-year-old self. Like, okay, where do we go from here? That's not the majority of your life. Jalen also made a really good point when he was doing the long jump trial into the pit. And he said that he can actually get his arms up and get his legs moving forward the right way and like actually do it and execute it the right way, because he can have a lot more control over his body and his limbs and generate a lot more power. So that's something that I have said over and over again. It's not just age, like my body recovered better when I was 16, or, I could get my ass kicked in practice when I was 16 and then recover faster. I can kick my ass so much harder now because I have worked out so much longer. I am so much stronger. My body can generate so much force. And so I didn't run track in high school and college growing up, so I don't really have the direct comparison. But I do know when I started running, because I've been powerlifting all these years and I have a lot of fast twitch muscle fiber, my number one problem is that I could generate so much power that I was getting Bambi legs as a girl in her mid 30s because my legs could get so much power. And then I was almost stumbling over my feet and falling over. I had to get my balance and learn how to actually control that power. So that's another element. Now, as an elite athlete, as a master's athlete, and especially those of you that have done powerlifting with us and or worked out for years with us, your body is actually way stronger. And you can push it way harder and you can generate a lot more force and you can do a lot more intense things. I know I can when I was in my high school and college years. So I wasn't lifting anywhere near this amount of weight or as consistently as I do now. So also just keep in mind, this is not just an age thing like, oh, woe is me, I'm not 17 years old anymore. This is also, you're on more of an elite level now than you were necessarily in high school and college. So you have like blessing and a curse. With that comes, you need longer recovery time, Epsom salt bath, rolling, massage gun, all of those things. And then you also need more prehab and rehab and mobility training. So as a power lifter, as a former gymnast, and then transitioning to a power lifter, I've always been flexible, but I've had to keep stretching and do a lot of mobility training to not feel like I'm muscle bound because of all the muscle I put on my body and how tight I am in the execution of everything I do in the gym. So I have great form now. I squeeze my glutes like crazy. Everything's so tight. And then there has to be a counterbalance to that. There has to be a yin to the yang. There has to be a counterbalance of we stretch more. We lay on a foam roller. We up some salt bath. We do things to relax more. So this is not just an age thing. I don't want you to think of what you do as a master's athlete as something that is negative, or it's because you're not 25 or 17 anymore. This is literally the lifestyle of an elite athlete
Yeah.
and as a master's athlete.
And being
So
smart.
this is not anything negative at
Yeah.
all. This
Yeah.
is just literally the next level
Right,
of
it's the
performance,
next level.
like a performance sports car.
Yeah.
So Mercedes, Porsche, Ferrari,
Yeah.
there's different rules.
Totally different.
It's not a
role.
$19 oil change.
No, exactly. This first part right here was sprint and throws. So now we're moving on to distance. So weekly practice schedule, who to do this one. This is fast, intermediate twitch muscle phase for middle distance race walkers and long distance athletes only. So that's who does this
What
part.
is middle distance? Is that like the
Rhonda's
800?
Rhonda's on that one
Is that
too.
an 800?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, so middle distance is definitely everything over 400. So again, bar squats there, all the same workout, but just a little bit different on some of the reps, because the reps have to go more middle distance in reps as well. Not so much fast switch for this group of people. So that's why your reps have to be higher, different muscle group. Distance part 2. This one is middle distance, long distance race walkers, and this is the conditioning part. 3 days a week. So 3 times a week conditioning for middle and long distance is a 3-mile run with a 50-meter sprint every half mile. So 50-meter sprint every half mile. If you know what that is, if you have to pre-measure it out, so you know, if you have to do it on the treadmill, do whatever, you can actually just measure it out. If you're just going around the track doing it, you literally can see what the 50 to 60-meter mark is around the track. 3 times a week conditioning for race walkers. You've got 5 miles, 80% max race walk, focusing on your form. Now I have taught the form on race walking. I'll get into a little bit more detail this Sunday, but because we have the #1 race walker of the New Albany Classic, Karen Saul. She already has been trained very, very well, but other people, I'll actually get a little bit more details in your brains this weekend. 7 set 60-second speed walking drills, 180 steps per minute. I count 90 right arm swings per 60 seconds, 1 minute rest between sets. So that's just like a speed, when I say just speed it up, a very, very quick speed from 90 to 180. All athletes before conditioning workouts, again, there's the foam rolling, prehab that has to happen.
all of that.
Yep.
Get your routine down. Figure
Yep.
it out.
Every athlete.
Yep.
Yep. So foam roller, you've got your legs that need to be rolled out, your back, your shoulders, your abs, your neck, your upper back. A minimum is 20 minutes on all that stuff. Stretches, static stretches, back, hamstrings, quads, hips, calves, Achilles, neck, shoulders, big toes.
Your lats, make sure you roll out your lat with the
Yep.
foam roller. If you're not exactly sure how to do that, ask us and
Yep.
we will definitely show you
Yep.
on Sunday
Yep.
at practice.
On all that
Very
stuff.
important.
So if you just work through your whole body on the foam roller, the purpose of the rolling or the gun is to get the lactic acid that's stuck in the muscle out. It's to relax you. Another thing to understand about humans and how we hold stress. Some people, I'm very soma. So I have to do monthly massage, chiropractor, roll every single workout. I hold too much stress in my muscles. And so other people are more mental. Todd is more mental. His stress will all be mental. So people that are more mental, they don't feel the stress in their muscles as
Yeah.
much.
Then he literally makes fun of us. He's like, why are your hips tight? Why are you limping?
Yeah, he doesn't hold his stress in his muscles. He's more of a
Mhm.
mental stress person. Then
Yeah.
there's other people that are emotional. So the little dog that's at Jody's house, that is one emotional dog. That dog is emotional. Oh my God, it's so funny. That little dog, it has the most FOMO I've ever seen in my life. But that dog is not a body of stressed out dog. That dog is an emotional dog. So some people hold all their stress in their emotions. My sister's that. She doesn't hold it in her body, she holds it in her emotion. So when you hold stress in your body, that's why it's so good to actually roll out and stretch and go to the gym with the intention of the rolling and the stretching. Don't go with the intention of the workout. when I go with the intention of that, then I look forward to my workout after I've done all the calm down of all my muscles.
And if you're me, you have to do the really aggressive stuff in the gym so you can calm down afterwards and stretch. That's the level that I'm on.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, if you hold it in your muscles, lead with all the stretches in the warm up. If you don't, and you're more mental, you're like the mental part, go do the intensity to calm yourself down. So just know that everybody's different where they put their stress out, how they hold their stress. So I stay pretty calm mentally. I'm very logical. I stay pretty calm mentally, but all my stress goes into my muscles. And that's why diet is so important, which I'm getting ready to go over the lectin diet. And the diet has a huge impact on your muscles, on your ligaments, on your tendons, on your attitude, on your energy, on how you feel. You eat wrong one meal, you're going to feel like shit. You're going to feel shame, blame, guilt. You're going to feel things are impossible. It's just the actual foods themselves are causing those emotions in the body. So that's why eating from sports nutrition is critical right now as an actual training athlete. All right. Okay. So got all that. All right. All right. Let's get going into the next thing. Now, I thought I had my PDF of my meal plan. So hold on a second. I'm trying to get used to this Apple. Not used to it. Yeah. Okay. So the meal plan we're on right now is 33. So let me see if I can pull this up from the app.
You guys are gonna have to let us know if you can see it or not.
Yeah, I gotta get out of here for a second.
They look like vampires with this lighting.
Vampires.
Yeah.
Um,
A little
All right.
creepy.
Let me see how to go to the next place. All right, that was the end of that. Yeah, that's the end of that. All right, close out of there. 1 minute. Okay. I know you guys probably cannot see the screen that I'm on. All right. Have you ever downloaded anything from the group chat?
No.
Okay, let me go to the files.
You open it on group chat, you have to download it.
I tried to click it, wouldn't work when I clicked it on the group chat.
That's weird. How can they see it? The clicking things doesn't work on the group chat.
I know, like when I
What the
look from
fuck
my
does it work
phone,
for?
exactly. When I look from my phone,
Oh, maybe
okay,
it's
so
an
here we
Apple
go. So download file. Maybe it'll give me a PDF if I download.
Well, it should.
All right, there we go.
Yeah.
All right, we got it.
It's so weird.
Okay, so now let me get back over here. Make sure you all can see the next thing that we're going to. Where did they
Boy,
go?
where did we go?
Oh, they're there. All right, back to share screen again. Somebody confirm you can see. Can you see the meal plan? Mike, can you nod? Yes, thumbs up. Okay, all right. So you see the meal plan. Thank you. All right, so meal plan here. I gotta skip to the other side. Okay, so 33, lean out. Big thing on the meal plan this time around. Clearly, it's all in yellow. You can't miss it. So I'm going to give a little bit of a lesson on lectins. Some of you, I've lectured your hearts out on lectins. I've already found the lectins in your diet. We pulled them out. I know it has a huge impact on your body. You cannot consume lectin foods when you are in track and field season. You cannot permit them to be in your body. So you don't need to go, but they're healthy. But what's wrong with them? But I thought they're healthy. I eat whole wheat bread. What's wrong with brown rice? Oh my God, tomatoes? Oh my God, jalapenos, seeds. Those are all my favorite veggies. Oh my God, no peanut butter.
When
Oh
these are your
no.
favorites and you overeat all these things like Melinda, the Italian,
Yep.
this is who runs into problems.
Yeah.
Me, I naturally wasn't eating a bunch of these things. Peppers already make me burp. So I already have a sensitivity. I don't want to eat peppers and burp for 2 hours. So that's already a sign that my body's like, hey, this is not our thing.
Mhm.
But Melinda fucking
Oh,
OD
I love them.
on everything lectin
Every
related.
lectin.
Therefore, she now has a problem.
Yeah, everywhere.
Me, I already don't eat that many lectins. So if I eat a little bit of peanut butter in my diet, I'm okay.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I've completely cut it out. I've tested it. I can do, because that's what you do when you cut everything out. That's a elimination diet. And then if you add a little bit back in and it doesn't kill you and make your joints swell up or make your eyeballs swell up like her, then you know you're okay.
Yeah.
So again, OD, you're probably the one with the problem.
Yeah, and I'm warning on the lectins because Lectins inflame.
Yeah.
So those of you that don't understand what lectins are, they're a natural occurring protein. They're also called glycoproteins. They are in every fruit and vegetable, and
Not
to
every
different
fruit and
degrees.
vegetable.
Yes, they are.
Oh, even apples?
To different degrees. Oh, everything. It is
Okay.
the way, since the plant can't run away when a predator goes to eat it, it's the way that it protects itself. And so plants that are definitely in danger. Why did that occur? Plants that are
flickering.
definitely in danger. Is it, am I losing my light bulb? I must be losing my light bulb.
Mm.
Plants that are definitely in danger, let's say like a pepper plant, they exert an enormous amount of lectins. If something has a shell, a hard shell around it, like a walnut or a pistachio, that doesn't have the strength of lectins as something that is bare. So as an example, peanuts, cashews, and almonds are the worst of all the lectins. So drinking almond milk, eating almonds, I was eating all that shit, eating cashews, and they're so high in lectin, not only will they cause digestive problems, then they're going to start to inflame you so bad they can cause neuropathy, so numbness in your lower legs, your feet.
The plant uses it as a natural pesticide, just so we're clear when she's
I'm going to
talking about.
explain it further. Yeah, I'm going to explain it further. So it is a pesticide for the plant to get little ants and insects off of it. Well, with all this extreme Monsanto Roundup, they are doing the equivalent of 1,000-fold. So 1,000-fold is how much more they're adding to the fruits and vegetables. And they began that in 2015, because I've eaten these foods my entire life and I had no issues. Right around 2015 is when I think Bayer bought Monsanto, and then they increased the amount of what they were putting in the pesticides to get bigger yields, obviously,
Well,
on
wait,
the plants.
they're genetically modifying the seeds
On top
so
of that.
the plant
Yeah.
produces more natural lectins because of all the kick or blowback on Monsanto for pesticides and all that shit. So they're like, hey, if we increase this natural element of these fruits and vegetables through, genetic modifications, nobody knows this is a bad thing yet. They're not going to have as much blowback. It's not a pesticide. We can say we're cutting back on pesticides, and then we'll still get a good yield, a great yield.
Off the seed,
off the seed.
but it still causes the same damage.
And it's a botutoxin, just like Botox. So think about how Botox freezes your forehead. Well, this is freezing all the little bugs on there so they can't keep eating at the pepper.
And they fall off.
Well, it's freezing her nerves
Yeah.
also.
So it'll hit your nerve. So it can hit your nerve. So it can hit your nerves and your mine will hit my shoulders. I noticed Jody's hits her shoulders. So it can hit your shoulder, your wrist. I'll be texting and my thumbs will just stop working if I eat cucumbers and red peppers on a salad. So that's how it's very, very serious. So you just have to be very careful. It will make your feet hurt. It'll make the bottoms of your feet hurt. It'll make, I made one of the recipes on one of the meal plans a couple years ago. I had a cauliflower cashew soup just before I knew enough. And I made that soup and only had 2 cups of the soup. And I was sprinting at the track. I could not feel from my knee down to my foot. It made my entire lower leg numb. So I'm an extreme example, but every single person I've met, when I remove the lectins from their diet, inflammation goes down, pain in any joint, knuckles, swelling, all that goes away, knees, everything. So it is a big seller. It causes a lot of rheumatoid arthritis, drugs, and surgeries to occur. So it is part of the economy to actually cause this to happen on purpose.
And since it's something that I don't naturally eat a lot of lectins, I don't have these kinds of joint problems.
Yeah.
So again, we are kind of both sides of this equation,
Yeah.
just to prove how important this is.
Yeah, not to have a lot of lectins in your diet on a normal
Exactly.
basis. And I mean, what happens during track season, when you eat really clean and you don't have anything that inflames you, you'll start to say, man, I feel so good. Then let's say that you go out for the weekend or whatever, or 3 or 4 days, you eat some pickles or not pickles, but cucumbers, or I love peppers so much. I'll just be like, I'm eating a red pepper this week. I'll just suffer through the numbness. I'll wake up, but I cannot do it during track season. I can't have one day where I'm trying to sprint and move my arms and my arms won't move. So that's how serious you really want to take it, especially when you're already prone to it, or if you're wondering like, man, my finger's hurting, or man, my wrist does hurt. So we had a power lifter and she kept complaining about her wrist, and she wouldn't listen to me about lectins. And she said, no, it can't be. It can't be. There's no way. I heard it. I said, okay, just let me do 4 days with no lectins in your diet. She did it. She goes, okay, I feel a little bit better, but it's still here. I said, well, that's not long enough. Before day 10, I said, then let me just go. If we got 4 days, let's do 10 days. Before we got to the 10th day, her wrist was already healed. So she's like, oh my God. And then sure enough, when I looked at her diet, peanut butter almost every day, wheat pitas almost every day or every other day, and baby little cherry tomatoes. All 3 had to go. She hasn't had one problem on her wrist since then, not one. So I'll notice it in families. It is very genetic. I'm seeing it in families. Also, like what Brittany was saying, it will be based on your eating habits as well. If you hate those type of foods, that means you're not eating them. You're probably not getting attacked by lectin.
Yeah, I
Those
don't like
were my main
tomatoes.
foods. Those are my main foods,
They
especially
are.
going keto. So when I went keto and I removed all, I don't have the wheat or the brown rice or anything. I was having very heavy vegetables and then protein. So when I went keto, I got more sick on keto than any other meal plan I ever followed, because I increased on my high vegetable intake, and my vegetables are very high lectin vegetables. So just understand that. That's why when we talk about lectins, this is what we're talking about. They will cause inflammation. They will hurt joints, especially the feet, the lower leg, the shoulders, down to your arms and your wrists. Everything you need to throw. I remember even Mike's knee, just like we got off lectins, Mike's knee doesn't even have any issues anymore. So it's really important, really important to understand what lectins are. So they're a natural pesticide. They're made for little teeny insects crawling up the side of a tree or the side of a plant to get the insects off. Humans increased it 1,000-fold with pesticides, and that's why it's hurting our guts now. Once you hurt our gut and you cut little holes in our gut, that stuff starts leaking and it starts impacting our nerves and our nervous system. So that's big. So just looking at this real quick, I love potatoes. Yeah, exactly. So you got to watch potatoes big time. You will see what starts to happen to your body. You remove the potatoes from your body, and now sweet potato never does it. I never, ever get the issue with the sweet potato. So pay attention, because sweet potato is more of a root. You got your cassava, you got your sweet potato, you got your yucamas. Those 3 typically won't be as severe, but you really need to pay attention. So you're still pretty young, Bree. So this stuff did not start happening to me till 2015. So by the time I was in my 40s, I was like, what is the chiropractor couldn't figure it out. I was like, I'm flexible. I'm doing everything you tell me to do. And it was this. I had to go down so many rabbit holes to try to
And
find the
also,
answer.
if you're not eating a lot of other lectin items, like one of the few things, like of the 3 or 4 things I was eating that have lectins in it, peanut butter was one of them. So that's something where I was giving it up. I gave it up for like a month, 2 months, just to see and test. And I was never ingesting enough high lectin foods for it to bother me.
There you
But I
go.
wanted to go completely clean and test out with an elimination diet just to see, can I get my body to perform even better? Is this holding me back in any way, shape, or form? So again, test it on yourself. It might be if white potatoes are one of the only high lectin foods that you're eating, you may be okay. But also being aware of the symptoms that we're saying, now you also know what to look for. If your body's like, hey, they've been increasing the lectins in foods over the past 5 to 10 years, and they're starting to build up in your system. Now you know what to look for moving forward to see if it crosses that threshold for you.
Yep, exactly. And we were testing. We found like organic little tater tots at the health food store. We tried those. We ate them. Well, another thing I will tell you, after you clean your diet up and don't have a lot of lectins in your diet. So like, I even tried to go to the Amish place and buy it. They said, no, ma'am, we have to buy our seeds from Monsanto. I'm like, God damn it. So I couldn't even get the Amish peppers to work. 1 cucumber from Michelle's garden with using heirloom seeds that no one tampered with, I could eat that cucumber. Another thing I could eat was if I take a red pepper, cut it in thirds and only eat a third of it, and then I have to wait a few days, eat another third. So in a month's time, I might eat 1 over 3 or 4 days, or maybe even a week. So I just stretch it out, and then I usually don't get the numbness. But if I go day 1, day 2, day 3, wake up in the middle of the night, arm is completely numb, waking me up out of a dead sleep. So like what she just said, it's numbing me like Botox in the shoulder. in a not good way, especially
Right.
waking me up. Let me see what this person's asking here. I hate everything else on the list though. I only have peanut butter every so often. Well, that's great.
Yeah,
The fact
That
that you
might be
hate it is
okay then.
great. Then you don't have to be of high concern. And
yeah,
again, we're telling people and teaching you guys this so there's not a sore joint, a sore muscle,
Yeah.
a sore foot, a sore ankle, swollen fingers or wrists, or tight jaw. I've had people that they'll just feel the impact of lectins in their jaw. It's just there. So I take the lectins out. They're like, I thought I had TMJ. Fuck, I didn't even have TMJ this whole time. It was cucumbers and cherry tomatoes. Pulled it out, even the shit in their jaw went away. So all of us are different. All of us are different how that could impact us. So don't just think, oh, it has to be in my elbow or it has to be in my wrist. So I talked to Karen and Mike and Jody, and all three of them have it somewhere. And some of them match me, some of them I don't have. Mine doesn't happen in my knees; it just goes in my nerves, goes right to my nerves.
Danielle, one of our power lifters, she made peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for the powerlifting day. For whatever reason, she thought that was her best idea.
And what happened?
She basically broke out in like that rash. Remember, she had like that hive looking rash on her arm.
From not having
And
peanut
then
butter?
but then it was just over the course of the powerlifting day, and then she was showing us, and
Oh,
at the
wow.
end I was like, maybe we should choose something other than peanut butter and jelly
Yeah.
sandwiches.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I understand you think that's a good idea, but if
Yeah.
you're, obviously that's sucking your strength, the fact that your body is having this fast
Yeah,
of some kind of inflammatory response
Yeah.
reaction,
that's what it is.
that's going to be sapping your energy, because whenever your body has to go to heal inflammation and deal with an inflammatory response, think of it like a 911 call. Like
Yeah.
something is going 911 in your body.
Yeah,
And so that's why there's so much talk about inflammatory response and trying to eliminate sugar. Sugar is a big inflammatory
Inflamer.
response that everybody knows about. So sugar, and now we're going on with lectins and teaching you guys about lectins. But whenever you're trying to reduce inflammation, it's because your body has to handle that inflammatory response and doctor that
yeah,
and baby that
yeah,
before it can actually repair the muscles you just ripped up with your athletic performance.
yeah,
Or
Yeah.
burn body fat.
yeah.
So what your body does while you sleep, number one, it digests any food left in your system. So if lectins are going to take longer to break down and digest, it's got to handle that shit while you sleep. Number two, it's going to repair anything. So if you're getting holes in your gut from the lectins attacking your system, and then it's creating all this inflammation, your body's going to handle cleaning up all that shit.
Mhm.
And then third, it finally burns body fat. So in getting to a performance athlete level of body fat, A, we want to get all that inflammatory response out as much as possible,
Yeah.
as fast as possible.
Yeah.
And B, we got to get to where we're burning body fat while we sleep and not just cleaning up all this inflammatory shit all night long. So
Exactly.
this is a whole system here that we're trying to create.
Yeah. I like how she just said that. When I get woken up with my arm going numb,
Mhm,
it's after I've been asleep for 6 or 7 hours.
mhm,
It doesn't wake me up right when I fall asleep. I go to sleep like, oh, I just got away with murder. I
mhm.
had some red pepper on my salad.
Your
6 or
body's trying to
7 hours
handle that
later,
shit.
my body was breaking it down, and it's like, okay, everything's going numb on the left side.
It's the night cleanup crew at the
Yeah,
hospital, and somebody puked, and then they have to go clean up that first.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's order of events.
Yeah, so
So
that's
just
what's
think about it
happening.
that
Instead of
way.
burning body fat.
Right.
Yeah,
And again, you might think you get away with it,
No.
but are you really?
yeah, exactly.
It's hurting your performance.
So the way he wanted this meal plan this month was to kind of get you guys in the habit. Again, I put down there, if you can't eat like this because you work, because of whatever's going on, it's okay. Just what he's trying to get across. So he's like, all right, so we got a little bit longer intermittent fast day, one of those days of the week. Break your fast with the first meal. Meal 2, 3 hours pre-training. Meal 3, 1 hour before you go to your actual training or do your training. Meal 4, 30 minutes after, and meal 5 is just post-workout, whatever. So it's not food that far-fetched in any way, shape, or form. But notice on here, even when you make a protein shake, we say do not use nut milks. So again, the nut milk will be very high lectin. So coconut milk, hemp milk, flax milk are way better choices. Those are way better. Now on the nuts, the ones that have the least amount of lectins in them are the ones that have the hardest shell. So pistachio, walnut, macadamian, and pecan. So they do make macadamia nut milk if you wanted to try that. But
And those are my favorite nuts. So again, the one who's
Okay.
eating the fewest lectins of the three of us.
yeah, so that's what, so she's not getting impacted because those are all,
And I've always done coconut milk. I like the flavor of that better.
Yeah.
So again,
yep.
Worse.
There you go. So that keeps you safe when
Yeah.
you don't like a lot of lectins is wonderful. So looking for fat loss, try to put different recipes on here, whether it's making protein pancakes. Sometimes you're just like, I need to chew something. It's cold out. I don't want a cold shake. Well, take your protein powder and make protein pancakes with it. It's wonderful. It is 8 tablespoons of the protein powder. I use 2
Which
whole
is a half
eggs.
cup. You
Uh,
don't want to count 8 tablespoons.
Yeah,
It's
that's
a half cup.
Yeah, half cup of that, 2 whole eggs, and then a half a cup of unsweet milk. Stir it up and then make your pancakes. They taste wonderful. Any flavor. I've tried every flavor that tastes so good. When we have on here to drink an electrolyte drink, we made ARD. So
It's
we
so
made,
good.
it tastes great. But ARD is our creation of a no sugar, no garbage electrolyte drink like Gatorade that has a lot of dextrose, maltodextrin, garbage like that.
Mhm.
Maltodextrin, that's another killer. Stay away from maltodextrin. It is not a joke. Artificial sweeteners aren't the best thing either. Monk fruit, stevia would be much better choices. Again, I just know so much from food allergies. If you don't have a lot of food allergies, you don't have to worry. But
Yeah.
if you start to say, hey man, I'm sore, or I'm not, my foot hurts or my ankle hurts, you need to come and talk to me, and then I'll look through your diet and see what the real issue is. And we get conditioned to believe something that we did. Oh my God, like we thought, Todd's like, are we getting old? Is this the definition of getting old? Todd would have to get out of his car, drive into a client's house in Sunbury and stretch his hips out. His wasn't in his nerves, his were in his hip muscles.
Mhm.
He got off of lectins. He's like, my hips are normal again. It's unreal. We've had dentists, one dentist, she's like, my job is my hands and I can't move my fingers anymore. I got her off lectin. She's like, I can do my dental job again. I was getting ready to think I have to change my career. It was all from lectin, almond milk every day. So that's kind of why we're really strict about it, because we want you to feel your best, perform your best. Like Brittany said, burn fat when you sleep instead of having to heal the gut
Mhm.
because it's getting attacked by high pesticides and herbicides and shit like that. It's extremely dangerous in our bodies.
And I'm adamant about this also because I come from farmers. My grandma ate food from her backyard and lived almost 103, and my grandpa lived to 92. So I come from people that grow their own food in their own backyard and kill the cows that are in their backyard. So the fuck if you think you're going to start feeding me pesticides and my body's going to rot and decay because of it.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And yeah, just being attacked by stuff like that. And but what I am finding, like I said, is when a seed has not been tampered with and you make your own garden and you know you're using an heirloom
Yeah,
seed.
this shit was not happening 10 years ago.
No, that shit wasn't happening. So
Yeah.
be safe on your own. You know what I mean? Find seeds like that, grow your own stuff. Okay, so anyway, so just on the meal plan, just being creative here on the different stuff. Enjoy your food. You can enjoy food, have a really good time with your diet. And at the same time, you're eating a lot of protein. Protein is so needed, especially as a master's athlete. You've got to heal, and you have to heal fast. Your
Mhm.
recovery has to get quicker and quicker and quicker. So you want to get in the habit of eating at least 1 gram for what you weigh of your protein. So be in the habit. You big guys, you got to be 200, 250 grams. So 200, 250 grams of protein, because the body's like, I need to repair with this. And you're doing 5 and 6 days a week of tear down. I need a lot of protein to repair that. Protein also burns 100 calories for every, we burn 100 calories for every 10 grams of protein we ingest. So that's a lot of fat burning.
It
that
burns
can go on.
30% of what you ingest
Yeah.
in the thermogenic process.
That's
So you're
fabulous.
eating protein, 30% is already burned off just to break it down.
That's wonderful. You can't do that with pita chips.
Right.
Oh my God. I'm like, I love popcorn. I love pita chips. And I think the whole time I'm burning nothing. I'm storing. I'm doing nothing but
Mhm.
storing. This
Mhm.
shit is not being burnt at all. So just be careful. And it's just triggering your blood sugar. You're going to be hungry, right away. I get hungry within 30 to 60 minutes of carb. Okay. So anyway, if a food is on here and you're like, man, I eat this, it makes me hungry. Don't eat it. Change it. Put something else there that doesn't make you hungry right after you
This
eat it.
is what works for us. This is an example, a recommendation, but again, every single human is slightly different. And
Yeah.
this is about empowering you and
Yeah.
teaching you to be your own guinea pig, just
Yeah.
like we have been,
Yeah.
and test out and see exactly what works for your body.
Yeah.
Because for every single one of you, just like our fit coaches and our fit models, you are all going to be a voice of our brand.
Uh-huh.
And what works for you is a very valuable piece of our whole puzzle. So this is not just the Todd, Brittany, and Melinda show. We've done that shit for years. It was called Body by Todd. We told everybody what we did. They copied everything that we did, and it ended there. This is about us actually putting together a team of role models
Yeah.
that have a slightly different story to bring to the table that can help somebody else in the world.
Love it.
So whatever your story is, that's why we picked you.
Mhm.
And we need your voice and your mouthpiece to put out there so other people identify with you. So
Yeah.
again, Melinda's story is about lectins. My story is slightly different. Todd's story is slightly different.
Yeah.
Each one of you identify with different parts of it. And then you guys are our little spawns, you're our little seedlings, and we're growing you. And your stories are going to go out there and inspire more people.
Mhm.
And people are going to connect with your story. Somebody's going to connect with your story more than they connect with mine,
Yeah.
and they're going to follow your lead. So that is what we're doing here. So we're empowering you, we're teaching you, we're giving you this information. But at the end of the day, it's your information, it's your life, it's your body,
Mhm.
and you have to figure out what actually works for you.
Yeah, exactly. So like, here's an example when I put my cursor right here on this one, 8-ounce fish, 1 cup of sticky white rice. So white bread, white rice,
Not like
white
jasmine-
pita
it's like
are
jasmine
way
rice.
way better for you than brown. Brown rice, brown
The
wheat
opposite
bread.
of what we've been told for 20
Every
years.
single bit of marketing that said to go wheat and brown rice and everything, that's high lectin because the shell is on it where the lectin herbicide pesticide
We have
is.
white bread in the kitchen right
Yeah,
now.
when you bleach, the bleach takes the lectin off. So that's why the white bread, even the organic gluten-free bread that we get for Todd, that's the only one he can eat. He can have no soy
Yeah.
because it's got too much lectin,
Yep.
and he can't have one shell. So he can't have the brown rice shell on
We're back to
anything.
the 80s on bread now.
Exactly. Before all the marketing.
We're back
And
to Wonder Bread.
exactly.
Who the fuck thought Wonder Bread would be the
Was
best
healthier.
thing now?
Wonder Bread's healthier for us. So bleaching stuff is actually less lectin intense on the body than the brown rice stuff. So
Good Lord.
your brain will go, what? What are these trainers talking
Unbleached,
about?
whole wheat, multi-grain,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
That is now out.
And it
And
causes
not on
so
a
much more
trend level,
damage.
not on a trend level, on a what lectins are doing to your body level.
Yeah, exactly. We have another client, some of you already know her, and her rheumatoid arthritis got its worst when she got on keto. She said, oh my God, I can't even go to sleep without multiple Tylenol all night. Her legs were hurting so bad, her inner thighs. So again, rheumatoid arthritis after all of this high vegetable intake began. Okay, so that's pretty much the meal plan over on the weekend. Weekend's got a little bit longer fasting on a couple of those days, especially that Saturday. Hot tea. There's a wonderful hot tea out there. If you find a tea you love, that just helps you in the timing that you're not eating. So for those of you that need something like that tastes good, either you put some monk fruit or some stevia in it and just a hot tea, and that just keeps you going. Okay, so I pretty much went over everything on this meal plan. So it should be a little bit more fun than last month. Last month had a lot of carnivore, and we used carnivore on purpose just to kind of get you into the habit. Well, okay, so when my weight goes up, if I do a few days of high protein, high fat, and no veggies, that's the greatest way to actually reduce and the protein, by the way, is always grass-fed, never grain-fed. All the grains are lectins. So you eat the meat of an animal that was fed grains, you're eating grains. And you wonder like, what? Oh my God, my joints are killing me. It's because you're eating grain-fed meat versus, and every restaurant pretty much, unless you go to a very high-end restaurant, every restaurant is going to use the cheap fish, which Mike knows the answer to that would be the farm-raised fish instead of the wild caught. And then they are using the cheapest meat you can buy, which is grain-fed meat. So be careful of your meat. Anyway, a good carnivore meal plan just reduces your inflammation, pulls the pounds down pretty quick, just a few days a week. Doesn't have to be every single day, a few days a week to knock a chunk of weight off. Always remember something about track, whether you're throwing, running, or speed walking. I don't care if it's muscle mass or fat, weight is weight. It's a wheelbarrow, and you do not want to push a heavy wheelbarrow. So that's why we knew, man, if we pick a sport like track, it's going to help our clients, powerlifters especially, keep their weight down year round instead of big swings, 25, 35 pound swing. If somebody just goes up 5 to 10 pounds, you can pull 5 to 10 pounds off.
Yeah, I told Todd today, I was like, all right, I'm taking my 3 pounds back off. And he was like, yeah, you better. And he likes to tease me about being hefty because I'm not. And so, but he just
He
any
doesn't tease
opportunity.
me. So opposite. He
so-
doesn't tease the Italian, he
I was
teases
like-
the French girl.
I was like, yeah, I'm gonna take my 3 pounds back off now. And he's like, you better. And I was like, yeah, that's as far as I let it go now. I hate losing weight too much.
Yeah.
It's too hard for me. It's too much back and forth. It sucks to even get back into running and get back into
It
training
does.
and do anything with that weight. So even at the beginning of the season, the getting back into it, I don't even want to do that with 10 extra pounds on. So that is how much it
True.
kept me from swinging.
Yeah.
And really the only difference now that I have my diet in check, I don't eat any different now than I did in the middle of the summer. I'm just not outside running my ass
There you
off
go.
for 2 to 3 hours at a time,
There you go.
sweating in the hot sun.
There you go.
So when I thought about it today, I was like, my diet's actually very, very stable. So
Mm-hmm.
once I figured out the diet that works for me, which is pretty much this for track training, it really hasn't changed.
Yeah.
Being out of season through the holidays, I gained no weight. It's really just I'm not as active right now, which is actually healthy. So there is, like we're talking about, the seasons of everything. There's a season for powerlifting, there's a season for track training, there's indoor, there's outdoor, but you also have to give your body a recovery season where you're just not getting your ass kicked every day.
Yeah.
And you are working more on mobility and prehab and all the other things, balancing things out.
Yeah.
So that's what season I've been in. So as a result, I'm not running as much, I'm not doing cardio, I'm giving my joints more of a break. And now it's time to get back into conditioning shape with indoor track season. And so I'll be taking my 3 pounds back off.
Because all the pounds, they all suck.
They all
Who
add up.
wants who wants to carry a load?
Those thick thighs trying to run fast.
Yeah, no, I
strip
hate
back.
Yes, exactly. Those are all feelings that they'll come naturally. We don't have to motivate you. They'll come naturally to you.
Exactly. So
Just putting in the work, it'll
I
make
was
it happen.
not eating too many cookies over the holiday. This was actually the least
Yeah.
conflict
That's
I've
good.
had over the holidays
Great.
with eating anything bad.
That's great.
Because in the back of my mind, it was, we're getting ready for indoor track season. And I love track season. I love track training. I love competing. I love how good my body feels at a certain body weight.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel like I was missing out on cookies or food or anything like that. It was literally like, I just didn't care. So that's such a beautiful place to get to, especially
It
after being in this industry for 20 years
It is.
and having such a basically eating disorder
Back and
from
forth, back and forth,
gymnastics.
back and
Well,
forth.
and gymnastics, just like exercise anorexia. Like I literally had exercise anorexia from gymnastics. And so to get to this healthy state where, your weight is not yo-yoing, you're not yo-yo dieting, you're not crash dieting, you know what works for your body, and you just kind of stay in that zone, and also allow your body to have seasons and allow it to have recovery season, and then get excited about getting back into getting your ass kicked season.
Okay, Gail has a wonderful question. Okay, so on the cauliflower pizza, no tomato sauce. So let me give you 2 ways that we make our cauli pizza. So for those of you who've never made a cauliflower pizza, you just get the cauliflower crust. So the cauliflower crust, and then we have
Wait,
lactose
say that,
allergies.
Brandon.
So
Cauliflower is the best brand.
yeah, that's the best one.
No,
Keep
we've
trying to-
tried like all of them.
Yeah, cauliflower is actually a good one. There's
Yeah.
usually 2 in the box at Myers, in the freezer section. But we'll take olive oil on it and then just put a little bit of seasoning on it. If I'm in the middle
I love
of
doing
track,
basil olive oil, by the way.
oh, that's
my
so
favorite.
good too.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Yeah, flavored olive oil.
Yeah.
Life changing.
Very, very good. And in track season, if I did 1 tablespoon of sauce on the whole pizza mixed with the olive oil, I could stretch it out. And then I put my pepperoni, my mushrooms, my fake cheese, and my jalapenos raw are deadly, deadly, deadly. But get the pickled ones in the jar. You should be able to get away with some of those. Or some red hot. Should be able to get away with some
What
of
about
those.
banana peppers?
Banana peppers usually no problem, and
Okay.
the pickled version.
Okay.
So you don't want the raw version because the lectins are right there on the skin.
Oh,
And the seeds are the babies. They have the most lectin of all.
don't
So
eat cheese.
scraping obviously nobody eats the seeds and peppers, but scraping them out of there is important. But when you pickle something with vinegar, it kills the lectins. It brings the lectin content down. But on your pizza, especially Gail, if I'm talking to you, which I do not know, if you've got any sore joints in this moment, any of you that I'm speaking to, if any of your joints are sore, if you feel swole, ankles feel swole, if the bottoms of your feet hurt when you wake up and you stand to start to walk, first thing in the morning, like I'm feeling right now, lectins are kicking your ass. No,
What'd you eat?
no. Over the, I didn't you see that gluten-free pasta with the ragu red sauce? Step on my feet.
Oh.
To have a bowl. I'm Italian. So my gluten-free pasta. I did everything great with the pasta. I'm like, damn, I had to have olive oil, but I had a little bowl that morning. Couldn't step on my feet, hurt like hell. I mean, as I walked, it started to calm down. But if in this moment in time, if any of you have any of the issues, any joint issues, any swelling issues, any bottoms of your feet hurting, you are being attacked by lectins. Don't put the red sauce on your pizza. Just use olive oil and seasoning, then all your topping. Actually tastes really good. So I've done both ways. You can make pesto for your pizza. So all pesto is fresh pesto. You will just take walnuts and spinach and some olive oil, blend it down, makes the freshest, best pesto ever. And then you can make your pizza with that. So walnut, spinach, and olive oil is your pesto.
Herbs, olive oil, pepperoni,
Mm.
dairy-free cheese.
So good, so good. Okay, so now some news going on to powerlifting season. So we messaged Rich, the one that Brittany's working with. He's the owner of NASA.
Mhm.
So for our powerlifters, and she's been working with him. She's already got about 20 to 25 pounds off
Yeah,
of him
he's doing
so far.
great.
So he's doing a great job. So there is no age. I have a client, Larzell, he's 84 and he's down 2022.
Yeah.
So we got 73 on his end and Larzell 84. There is no age weight cannot be lost.
Yeah.
It's absolutely possible.
And this was through the holidays. And he got COVID and he had the flu.
Oh my God, that's a lot of shit.
And he's like, I haven't given up.
I love it.
By the way, I'm like, no, we're
I
good.
love
We're
it.
good.
I
Good
love
job.
So we asked him, could we bring a competition to Columbus if we have a gym, which the gym that we work out of is really big warehouse looking gym with 3 huge garage doors. And the garage doors go out to this really nice area out back where they flip tires and it's all paved really nice. And so we asked, would you ever think of coming to Columbus? He's like, oh my God, that'd be great. We always wanted to. No promoters ever wanted to do Columbus. So we said, we think we want a springtime show and to keep it in Columbus. And then Brittany said, the owner of the gym, she said, we're even thinking about having food trucks out there and being able to have tents out there with different vendors.
Yeah.
So we'll make like a really fun day of it.
Yeah.
And then we'll probably add in like an amp up photo shoot for everybody to be in their uniforms, get a photo shoot done probably Sunday, and then just make like a weekend out of it, a fitness weekend. So our goal is to be able to do that and be able to just get like new photo shoot with uniform shirts on, compete at this location, not have to die of heat exhaustion like I did in
Exactly.
the basement of that gym in Springfield. So we're thinking that if this all goes well, and I've already sent him all the videos that Brittany took of it, and he says, yeah, we'll find out what the date of that is. It is going to be time to actually start powerlifting. Just even if you're in track, you still got to start doing powerlifting work. That'll start to happen. If we do a May show, you're going to have to powerlift March, April. You're going to have, you seasoned powerlifters can start doing March, April. That's 8 weeks. You're going to have to start mid-February. So mid-February, we have
Wait,
to
if it's
start
end of
upping up
May, If
powerlifting.
it's end of May, then March, April, May, that's 12 weeks.
That's what they need.
Yeah. March, April, May.
That would be 12 weeks.
Yeah,
But
'cause the
the
show was
seasoned
May
powerlifters
30th.
can do it in 8 weeks. So like Mike can do 8 weeks. Jody can.
So that would just
Jody
be
needs
April.
12.
That would just be April and May because it was like May 30th last time for the meet.
Okay. Well, they're gonna have to. Yeah. So, oh, you said March and April. That's 8 weeks.
Yeah.
Then a little bit of May based
No,
on the date
all
of
of
it.
May. It was May 30th. It was the very end of May.
I know. Maybe not go that far into May. Maybe like the 21st or something like that.
Okay. Yeah, because
Yeah,
they have to
absolutely.
rest before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So you're
Yeah. So anyway, so I'll let you guys know when powerlifting have to start. It either got to
Speaking
be
of seasons,
mid-Feb
we've been
or
having this conversation. We're
Yeah.
planning out all the seasons.
yeah, trying to do that.
Yeah.
I did hear from Todd on a date. So first indoor meet is a national meet that is March 10th. Okay, so get your calendars out.
In Louisville, Kentucky.
Louisville, Kentucky, March 10th and 11th. Louisville, Kentucky, March 10th and 11th. That is probably the only indoor meet we will be participating in. Number one, no one will be ready until then. Number two, some of you will be ready, some of you won't.
So that is
So some of
indoor
you can just watch.
nationals.
Yeah.
So we are going to be addressing the ones that we think will be ready on certain events.
Yeah.
And so if you're getting nervous right now, it's probably
worry.
not you. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
okay.
So don't worry.
So a lot of people are going to be coming to watch.
Yeah.
And so this would be a really great meet to watch and just see on a national level who's there, who's competing.
Yeah.
It's so fun to watch.
Yeah.